Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul, the owner of Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford, 18 North Washington, right next to Red Knapp's on the east side of town. I hope you're enjoying if you have school off, you teachers or the kids are off. We got plenty of snow this weekend. I heard on the radio we had probably the second or third heaviest snowfall in Michigan history in February. So whatever the case, I'm glad you're here for some Rise and Shine Yoga. As always, take your place in a seated position on your mat. If you have a blanket handy, you can sit on the blanket, put it underneath your hips. Bring your palms together at the center of the heart. Close your eyes. And as always, I want you to set an intention for your practice, a dedication for your practice. It's always good to dedicate things for other people. It's a good way to generate what we call in the yoga business karma, which kind of means if you do good things will happen to you in the future. And conversely, if you do really, really bad things may happen to you in the future. So by setting this dedication for our practice, we're kind of just getting a free good karma card, as we say. This intention can be for a family member, or it can be for a friend, it can be for someone who's struggling with either an illness or maybe a job situation or a family situation. And you also can dedicate this practice just for yourself. In yoga, we believe that if we're going to help other people, we need to be taking care of ourselves. We need to have our body refreshed and strong, our mind clear. So if you're having some difficult situation at the moment, feel free to dedicate this practice to yourself. Doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're honoring your body. So we just seal that intention just by bowing our chin to the chest, knowing we can come back to that intention at any time. If our breath wanders, our mind struggles, our body's just not cooperating this morning. And come back up. We're going to do some yin yoga this morning. As we've done in the past, yin is good for the joints, the ligaments, the tendons, getting them stronger. As we go through the poses, you may find that your muscles quiver a little bit. That's a good thing. That means they're trying to relax, but they're also getting stronger, which is what we want. So before we continue with our yin, take our hands behind our back, interlace our fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, maybe look up to the sky as we're opening up the front part of our chest. And then release. Bring your hands and arms in front. Interlace the fingers. Press them forward and really round that back. Really round the back. Opening up the upper back. And then release. Bring the arms up to the sky. Interlace the fingers. Press them up. And then release. Take your right hand, bring it by your left ear, and then just gently bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Very gently. We're not yanking the neck. We're just very gently pulling it over. You should feel a little stretch on the left side of your neck. And then release and come back up. Take your left hand, bring it by your right ear, and then just gently bring your left ear to your left shoulder. You should feel it on the right side of your neck. Again, we're not forcing this. We're just letting the neck go as far as is comfortably possible. And then come back to center. And then just bow your chin to chest, opening up the upper part of the neck here. A thoracic spine, if you want to get technical. And then slowly come back up. just as an FYI, this is something I learned wrong when I was playing high school sports. Don't ever rotate your neck in a circle like this. It's not really designed to go that way. Our neck's designed either to go forward or side to side. So if you catch yourself rotating it, try not to. Just a kind of FYI. So I want you to get your blanket if you have it, or if not, just come to kneel on your knees. We're going to open up the toes and the feet. So we're going to start in a kneeling position. We're just going to sit back on our heels, opening up the ligaments of the ankle and the feet. You can have your hands on your knees. The farther you lean back, the more of a stretch you'll get in your feet. We don't stretch our feet very often, so if this is uncomfortable, just come back up. And now we're going to slowly come back up on our knees. This time, kind of get on your tippy toes. And then we're just going to sit back on our heels and you really stretch out those toes. Again, it's not something we do on a regular basis, if at all. We should. I know a lot of people with foot issues. I coach track and cross country, so I have a lot of runners, a lot of foot issues, and we always are stretching out our feet and our toes. Again, this is not a very comfortable position if you don't really stretch out your toes, but it'll help over time. And slowly come up to kneeling. You can remove the blanket if you'd like. Come into a tabletop, hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Bring the big toes of the feet together. Sit back on our heels. Fold forward into our first child's pose of the morning. As always, you can come back to this pose at any time during your practice. This is a pose of comfort, safety, I want you to come back to it at any time during the practice. Yoga, at its core, is all about honoring the body and taking care of ourselves. And slowly come back up. You can sit on your knees if you'd like. Bring your palms together. Take a quick drink of water, catch your breath, and we will see you in the next segment with some more yin poses.
Hello, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And together, Dave and I host a program called Minutes by Minute. We discuss what local Oxford and Addison politicians and appointed representatives are doing to make your life happy or miserable by passing laws, ordinances, and regulations that affect you.
We believe that within those political decisions is humor. You just have to hunt for it. For example, did you know there's a local ordinance that allows people to shoot off fireworks 24 hours a day, 365 days a year? But since they can do it, nobody wants to do it.
Catch us Monday through Friday on Charter 191 and ATTU Verse 99, scheduled for 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m., or go to our webpage, occtv.org, and click on Programs. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny. Each week, catch us on Minutes by Minute.
Don't miss it.
Welcome back to our next segment of Rise and Shine Yoga, continuing with our yin poses. Again, stay in a seated position. Take your hands, bring them behind your hips. Just kind of press yourself up. And then we're just going to fall forward, bring our hands to the mat, let the back round, chin drop to chest. Again, we're only going as far as is comfortable. We're not forcing our way into the poses because we're going to be here for a little bit. On average, We hold the poses for 3 to 5 minutes. We won't this morning, but we are going to be here for a little bit in each pose. If at any time you feel any sharp pain, then don't do the pose. Come back to child's pose. In this pose, you should feel it in the hip region. And slowly come up. Whatever leg was in front, bring it back. Whatever leg was back, bring it up front. And again, take your hands behind your hips. Press yourself up. And gently fold forward. Again, chin drop. Hands come to the mat. And very gently come back up to seated. This time widen your legs, but only widen them as much as is comfortable. The knees and the feet go wherever they go, wherever gravity pulls us to. Take your hands behind your hips, press yourself up, and then gently bring your hands to the mat. Chin drop. Breath relaxed. Should feel this in the back of your legs. If you feel any pinching in the lower back, please come up. There's no real muscle in the very lower back above our tailbone. It's mostly ligaments. And we don't really want to stretch those. We only want to stretch muscles. Very gently come back up. Bring your legs straight in front of you. Bring the soles of the feet together, but keep them away from your body. Let the knees and the feet open up. Again, take your hands behind your hips. Press yourself up and just gently fold forward over your legs. The chin drop. Very slowly, very gently come back up. Cross your legs in a seated position. Take a quick drink of water, catch your breath, and we'll come back for our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga, finishing with some more yin.
Let's go to Jacktown, to Fishtown, Yipsy and Kazoo. Let's go to G-Rap and the Sioux. Let's go to Cereal City, Christmas City, Tulip City, the Capital City, the Motor City. Let's go to cities and towns that aren't like other cities and towns, and they've got the nicknames to prove it. Let's go to the cities and towns of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Welcome back to our final segment of Rise and Shine Yoga. So now I want you to make your way to lie on your back. Straighten the legs out in front of you, and we're going to do a pose to work our oblique area. So straighten your legs, bring your arms overhead and interlace the fingers. I call this a half moon pose, even though there's a half moon standing pose. I think this kind of describes this pose. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your butt cheeks firmly grounded on the mat. And then you're just going to move the upper body over, and then if you can, move your feet over to the right. So almost, if you look at it, it's like a half moon. But again, your butt's tied to the mat. You have your legs together over to the right, your upper body to the right, stretching the arms. You should feel it on the left side of your stomach area, those obliques. Interlace the fingers. You know, and you can see how far you go, but the key is just make sure your butt stays on the mat. We don't want it coming off, so. Then very gently come back to center. Again, straight legs, straight arms. And this time, keeping your butt firmly on the mat. Move your upper body over to the left. And then move your legs over to the left. Arms are straight overhead. Make sure the butt's tied to the mat. And again, you should feel this in your right side, the right oblique area. And now very gently come back to center, bend the knees, bring them into your chest for a hug. Maybe rock side to side. So now still lying on your back, I want you to bend your knees, kind of bring them up. We're going to do a pose called Happy Baby. You bring your hands, bring them on the outside of your feet. So your knees are bent. And then you're just going to very gently try to bring the knees down toward the floor. I've never had a baby, but my friends tell me that this is what a happy baby does. You should feel this in your groin area. You can even rock side to side, massage your back if you'd like. The wider you make your legs and pull them down to your floor, more of a stretch you get. And then bring the knees, legs back to center, hug them into the chest, rock side to side. Bring your arms out to a T. Let the knees drop over to the right. And then if it's available, you can lift your head and take your gaze over the left shoulder. But you don't have to. Nice spinal twist. Close the eyes. And gently bring the gaze and the knees back to center. Then let the knees drop over to the left. Lift your head. Let your gaze drop, look over your right shoulder. Bring your knees and the gaze back to center. Hug your knees into the chest. Rock side to side. And then roll over to your favorite side. Rest your head and your arms. And very gently push yourself back up to a seated position at the front of your mat. Sit up nice and tall, cross your legs. Bring your palms together at the center of the heart. Close your eyes, bow your chin. Coming back to that intention that you set at the beginning of a practice. Thank you so much for letting me lead you in your practice this morning. As always, it is always an honor. Have good thoughts, good words, and good actions. And we'll see you next week. Namaste.
President Roosevelt signed the Bill of Rights.
I've always appreciated the American Legion's
My gratitude to the American
Thank
Legion.
you all to the American Legion.
We have millions of veterans that are members of our organization. Thank you.
The American Legion. We serve America and its veterans. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These four pillars shape our work and what we do for America. There is power in our numbers. We're the largest organization of wartime veterans in the nation. We are 2.5 million members strong, men and women from every state in the nation and around the world. No other veterans organization wields this kind of power. We work relentlessly within our four pillars of service, and we succeed. The American Legion takes care of our fellow veterans and their families. We maintain close ties with Congress and the leaders in Washington, D.C. They respect us. They listen to us. We sponsor research and press for medical care and benefits for all veterans and active duty service members, whether they are members of the American Legion or not.
President Roosevelt signs G.I. Joe's Bill of Rights.
You've heard of the GI Bill of Rights, one of the most important pieces of social legislation of the 20th century. It was written and passed largely through the efforts of the American Legion. We were instrumental in the formation of what is now the Department of Veterans Affairs to make sure our veterans get the care and benefits they are promised and deserve. The young people of our nation are our future. They benefit from exceptional programs and generous scholarships that only the American Legion offers. We provide athletic programs like American Legion Junior Shooting Sports, Legion Baseball, and educational and civics programs like the Oratorical Scholarship Contest and Boys State and Boys Nation.
As Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black stated, the quality of justice that Americans receive should not depend upon the amount of money they have.